Hello and welcome to TRM. Today I want to share my review of the movie Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. Without any doubt, the unfortunate passing of Chadwick Boseman has affected this movie in a lot of ways, but I want to talk about this movie as that thing did not happen. I want to talk about this movie as a part of Marvel in Phase 4. If you're being honest with each other, Marvel in Phase 4 has been a mixed bag, and I'm putting it really nicely. Because Doctor Strange 2 and Thor Love and Thunder, they were misfires, they were not good. And let's not start about the TV shows, the latest She-Hulk and Miss Marvel and others that did not age very well. Maybe the best thing that came out of Phase 4 so far was Spider-Man and Shang-Chi at some levels. So when I wanted to watch this movie, my expectations were really high from Wakanda Forever because the first movie was really good, was really a standout movie in its phase. It got a lot of Oscar nominations, it had great actings, a great villain, and it made $1 billion. Maybe that's the most important thing for the MCU. So I wanted to watch something bold, not something typical and something that I already watched before. I really thought that Wakanda Forever would be the savior of Marvel in Phase 4, but I was wrong, and here's why. I want to give you a spoiler alert, so if you haven't watched the movie, watch it first, because I want to talk about the plot of the movie, and then I'm gonna share my full review. So what happens in this movie? In the beginning of the movie, we see that T'Challa, Black Panther, is dead, although his sister Shuri is trying her best to find a cure and medicine to cure his brother. She's not successful and T'Challa dies. So we see the funeral, it's beautiful. And then what happens is that now Queen Ramonda, mother of T'Challa and Shuri, she's responsible, she's the queen of Wakanda. And because T'Challa is dead, of course, some world leaders, some countries are taking advantage of the vibranium that Wakanda provided for them, and they wanted more. So Queen Ramonda presents herself in front of the world leaders and she says that we are helping you, but you keep attacking us and want more, so if you do this one more time, it's off. She says that we wanted to share vibranium, not get robbed of it. So because the world leaders are of course greedy, they make a vibranium finder and they find vibranium in the sea. And here we see Namor, he and his crew, they attack this vibranium finder. I mean, I could go on more about the plot, but this is a critic, not a recap, so I'm gonna share my review. I really see this movie as a missed opportunity because the movie played it safe, and in my opinion, for me at least, this safe playing was its downfall. Let's talk about the villain more. So the villain of this movie is Namor. Namor could have been a great villain. His backstory is good, the way that he and his people live, it's interesting. The actor actually did a really good job, and if you remember the villain of the previous Black Panther movie, Michael B. Jordan, who by the way makes a cameo in this movie and was good. Killmonger in that movie was good, so in the sequel we also have a good villain. Until he gets all crazy and he is extremely irrational and just decides to be the villain of the movie. When I'm talking about being the villain of the movie and being stupid, although that he claims that he is resourceful and he knows everything, the first target that he attacks is Wakanda, which is like the most powerful place on Earth, as the movie suggests. He kills the queen of Wakanda, Shuri's mother dies, and even before that he wants to kill a 19-year-old because that 19-year-old created this vibranium finder. Namor could have been good, but he just turned cartoonish really fast. I mentioned that 19-year-old, well, let's keep on talking about her. She is Ironheart, and we saw her for the first time in the MCU. Let's just say that Marvel is crapping all over what it's been building. Do you remember the scene in the TV show Loki where that guy used Infinity Stones as paperweight and it just made the whole Infinity Saga pointless? That is what happened to me when I saw Ironheart. If you are to believe that a 19-year-old who must be, of course, African American, is so smart that can create a vibranium finder that works in the bottom of the ocean, and also she did it for the school project, something that Wakandans could not do, something that Shuri, who is said to be as smart as Tony Stark, could not do. But this 19-year-old, she did it. Not only she did that, she also has an Iron Man suit, as it turns out. At one point, I asked myself, which one do I prefer? Do I prefer Thor Love and Thunder to be just a huge comedy, it was like a long sitcom, or to Marvel to just crap all over what it's done? And trust me, I did still choose Thor Love and Thunder because that movie was not serious and did not take itself seriously. But my expectations, and I think everyone's expectations from Wakanda Forever, was a lot higher than this. I said my critics about this movie. I want to say what was the best part of this movie. Without a doubt, it was Shuri. Letitia Wright as Shuri, she did wonderful. She had to do something great and huge. And of course, Angela Bassett as Ramonda, she was great as well. Lupita Nyongo is always great, but Letitia Wright was the carrier of this movie. If she was not in this movie, this would be a disaster. She had to project and show so many feelings. She had to be sad, she had to be happy, she had to be funny, she had to be angry, she had to be a leader, and even a little girl at some point. And she never dropped the ball. What a performance. She was great in this role. And whenever the movie was talking about her and what was related to her, the movie was at its peak. It was just wonderful. Especially at one point, Shuri was in a dilemma between science and tradition, or you want to call it whatever you want. You want to call tradition, religion, culture, whatever you want to call it. She was in a dilemma between science and those stuff, and that was such a great question. But MCU unfortunately did what it did with many other projects and TV shows and movies, played it safe, gave us some CGI stupid stuff, and yeah, that's it. I really wish that the movie gave more chance to Letitia Wright, even though she was in almost every scene, but I really wanted a bit more of her. And one more thing I have to say is about the soundtracks. Actually, I'm not a big soundtrack guy. I don't care about what happens, what is played in the background during a movie, but I know when I'm annoyed. So the soundtracks of this movie, they were annoying. The voices, they were annoying. Of course, the Rihanna music at the end, that was great, but in the middle of the movie, those voices, those sounds, those musics, they were just annoying in my opinion. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this review, but I'm just being honest. I expected a lot from this movie and it offered me so little. It was just really mediocre. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Tell me, what did you think about this movie? What would you change in this movie if you had the power to do it? And if you have anything to say, comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.